Santa won't punish kids, but she will. Okay. Santa Claus crash out. Oh, Santa got knives. This man is the inventor of baby oil in this world. We don't want to go to your basement. We finally have an author that writes a weird age gap relationship, and the older fellow in question says, that's weird. God damn it, Japan, you had it in you all this time. The fact that a show about Santa Claus seemingly protecting children from people who would be on certain islands is being slept on is wild. Because it's not even an exaggeration. What I saw from this headmaster this week in Sanda episode 2 has me fully convinced he's probably the goddamn grandfather of Epstein and Diddy. Just unlike in our own world where people like this apparently get pardons for their horrible crimes, Santa Claus uses an abundance of weapons to seemingly smack them down, and before too long I ain't gonna be surprised if Santa's cloak is red from a different reason. This shit's actually amazing. I can't believe one of the most creative, if not the most creative shows I've seen in years is getting heavily slept on. Make it make sense. Make sure you drop a like on the video, share your support, subscribe if you're new around here. Patreon is where you catch my full live reactions and more. And hey, you can also hype the video if you're on mobile to help the video even more if you got any available. So, like, there's a lot of shows I'll watch and I'll be like, damn, why people sleeping on it? But like deep down inside, I understand. Like, it's not like your average show, not gonna appeal to the masses. It's different. But a show like Sanda really has everything going for it. And I don't know why it hasn't immediately caught on yet, but I'm hoping over the season it will, because Science Seru is an amazing studio. Everything they touch is great. The concept of Violent Santa is already something that would appeal to the masses because it's so ridiculous. But the more you see, the more you're like, okay, because there's a lot of takes of Santa that go just beyond your classic Christmas tale. There's raunchy Santas, like Bad Santa. There's the Violent Night or whatever it was called from a year or two back where Santa kills robbers, I'm pretty sure. Or just beats up robbers, I don't know. But like, there's a lot of twists I've seen. But the concept of a kid having like Santa's spirit inside him, and once it unleashes, like he feels like his 14, 15-year-old self, but he also has Kris Kringle in his side. So like he definitely, he looks at stuff like, okay, I'm not gonna have romantic relations with any of these people. I don't care that this psycho girl who tried to kill me is into me. Santa Claus doesn't touch the young. But I guess if you're gonna have Kris Kringle say, no, we ain't doing that, you had to introduce the grandfather of Epstein, so it ain't all sunshine, I suppose. But it's interesting because like the concept of like, you are technically following a kid who's a kid, but then when like the Santa part takes over, he's like, no, I'm Santa Claus. Santa Claus doesn't hurt children. Santa Claus is one of the rare characters that is universally agreed upon that like isn't a creeper. Like people have always made jokes, like ever since I was young, like, oh, he sneaks into children's homes, he takes their milk, and you know, like you can make the jokes, but at the end of the day, the core idea of Santa is supposed to be the, I look after children. Doesn't matter what race, where you are, where you're from, Santa takes care of everyone. So the concept of him being like, I'm not gonna hurt kids. Even a kid who technically kidnapped me here and probably needed to be aborted, I ain't gonna hurt. Now, granted, even though he won't hurt kids, she can dish out the punishment needs be. But when it comes to creepy-ass adults, Santa went for his head, bro. Now, granted, this man had Kardashian-level plastic surgery, so he doesn't even bleed. It's insane. Like, he has to physically push his face to make the expressions he wants. That ain't right, bro. But the fact that he, like that could have easily took out an eye. Like, would it have cut his head off? Probably not. But the fact that he could have easily made him blind, Santa wasn't playing. And the fact that Santa Claus can, like, do Wolverine-level maneuvers instead of claws, he had the sleigh blades. I didn't think that was possible. I figured when Santa started throwing hands, sharpened candy canes, tinsel lassos, you know, the little balls you put on the tree, like maybe those would be grenades? I don't know, I'm thinking stuff like that. But if he can, like, mutate his body into Christmas-themed weapons, okay. And while watching episode 2, I thought to myself, is it because they're making it seem like, oh, it's all gonna be focused on this school. But there's no way there's enough psycho kids in this school to make an entire story that lasted 100 and some odd chapters, I believe. It's like 121 or something, I don't remember. But still, But now it's like, okay, then there's the crazy adults. The whole school seemingly is probably corrupt. But then it also comes down to, like, I think the grand punchline of the show is probably making the world believe in Santa Claus. Because as it stands, like, what they were saying is that, like, people don't really believe in him anymore. So if the big punchline is making people believe in him and, like, you know, every Christmas delivering the presents and all that, while also just keeping the peace of anyone who's trying to prey on the innocent, especially the children, I mean, that's a pretty engaging hook. And, like, you don't even have to be, like, a big Christmas person or a big Santa person to appreciate the creativity here. Like, it's violently badass. You had explosions last week, you got sleigh ride beheadings this week, and the characters are interesting. Like, when the kid kidnapped us, I was like, okay, this kid's just a freak. Like, initially, he just gave me heebie-jeebies. Thankfully, there was a headmaster who was even creepier, so I immediately just thought he was a normal kid pretty quickly into this. But it's like, it's so cool because, like, I thought to myself, if the kids are going to be psycho, there's no way we can always get around not beating their ass. But I think half the time we probably will, because we'll just show them the spirit of Christmas, and then on the other half, she can beat them up for us. There's still some mystery with her, because, like, it obviously makes sense why he knew he was Santa, because he saw everything that happened in the previous episode. We still don't know why she knew. Like, there was no transformation prior to that, so there's definitely some skeletons there. But ain't no amount of skeletons is going to compare to the skeletons that's in the headmaster's closet. He's got a whole crew apparently he's working with. It's just weird as hell. But Santa Claus be beating up pedos, bro. That's amazing. And yeah, like, I don't think it's an exaggeration to say this is one of the most visually and narratively creative shows of the year and probably years. Like, I said it last week, like, Science Zero is the appropriate studio to adapt. And I didn't think about it. Shame on me. But last week, someone commented the only other studio that might have been able to do this, and that's Studio Trigger. And 100%, Studio Trigger has done some really dumb things before, and at the end of the day, the concepts they're going for really would have fit up their alley. But at the end of the day, Science Zero is the only studio to do, like, 100% nail this. Though a Studio Trigger version of this would have been interesting too. Just fantastic stuff. You can let me know. I mean, I truly fear this is going to get heavily slept on, but, you know, maybe the anime community can finally prove me wrong and, you know, not sleep on the gems. But, I don't know. Remember, everyone, this is supposedly a dry and boring anime season with nothing to watch. Sure. Let me know your thoughts down below, though. Drop a like, show your support, subscribe if you're new around here, and yes, Patreon for live reactions and more. Like, hey, I also like to give video shoutouts to my patrons. Alright, so today we got Tony Keats, One-Eyed King 25, Ton Brondhaver, Javier Volkwitz, Karstine Jensen, and we also have Dr. Gold. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and y'all have a good one.